Welcome to eFactor with Brenda Pearce. Our fresh approaches will expand and elevate humanity. Now join me with today's very, very special guest. Now let's get on with the show. Hi, and welcome to eFactor Radio. This is Brenda Pearce, the empowered nurse, here to enrich your life with body, mind, and spirit triage, electrifying, empowering, and enriching always. And we want to add value to the world around us. For more great information and to join our email list, visit www.efactorlive.com. And I just want to let you know that today's special guest is author, speaker, Cynthia M Ruiz, professor, inspirational speaker, and leadership expert, receiving over 50 accolades and awards for her leadership and service to Los Angeles, California. She currently serves as a Los Angeles City Commissioner, overseeing multi-billion-dollar pension portfolios for the city employees. She has received the prestigious Hollywood Chamber Women of Distinction Award and Hope Ray of Hope Award, and the Weingart Women Building LA Award. Twice, the California Apparel News has listed her on their renowned list of influential people, and LA Weekly showcased her in their People edition. Cynthia has over 20 years of experience teaching and public speaking. She is the author of 2 books, Cherokee Wisdom, 12 Lessons for Becoming a Powerful Leader, and Finding Sane Relationships in a Crazy World. She appeared in Discover, The Gift, movie and book, with such notables as The Holiness, the Dalai Lama, Michael Bernard Beckwith, Jack Canfield, and many more. Coming from blended cultures, Latina and Native American, she enjoys a passion for life and an appreciation for the gifts of Mother Nature. Cynthia knows the importance of giving back and always strives to stay humble. As a Latina, she has passion for women empowerment and started the Wise Latina Network. Her Cherokee values have inspired her to teach others with her lessons. She has done this through her books and her workshops. And we're going to meet up with Cynthia right after these commercials. So stay tuned for a wonderful and empowering conversation.
Vibrant health and anti-aging is possible with the Swiss Bionic PEMF system. You can turn back the hands of time with this amazing system, which has a medical device license from Health Canada. Rejuvenate your cells by reducing the ravages of radiation and the risks of chronic illness, fatigue, and so much more in just 8 minutes per day. Find out more about the Swiss Bionic PEMF system at PEMFglobal.com or call Allie at 905-465-0753.
Are you looking for gluten-free food products made with you in mind? iEarth Food Products may be the answer. All iEarth food products are handmade, fresh, gluten-free, and made to order. We use the highest quality locally sourced ingredients. Products can be customized to suit your dietary needs. Our iEarth trademark pod is a balanced food product that will not spike sugar levels and filled with true nutritional value. Vegan and free of gluten, dairy, soy, corn, and cholesterol. You have got to check us out at www.iearthfoods.com today. That's www.iearthfoods.com.
Do you feel zapped of energy? Finding daily tasks difficult? Feel unbalanced? Solutions are naturally available that can help you evolve with intention. Rebecca Leonardis can help you find the joy and wellness safely and affordably. Rebecca invites you to her online and in-person classes. Take back your life. Connect with Rebecca through evolvewithintention.com today.
Want to know what your cells are telling you? Then you need to connect with Pat Kennedy or Thermography Clinic London. For over a decade now, Pat has provided breast and total body imaging for men and women. Want to know more? Thermography is a non-invasive, pain-free, and zero-radiation way to measure cell function, the effects of treatment, and hormonal influences, as well as provide a breast health assessment. To find out more, visit thermographylondon.com or call 519-667-0666 and book your complimentary chat with Pat today. Mobile clinics are also available near you.
Wonderful, and welcome back to eFactor Radio. This is Brenda Pearce, your host, and we have Cynthia Ruiz on the line. Hi, Cynthia. Welcome to the call. Oops, just a minute. I got to get you off this. There we go. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi,
welcome
Brenda.
to the call. Hey, I'm
much.
so thrilled we can have you here today, and I just really want to let you know that I find what you have put together with Cherokee Wisdom, 12 Lessons to Become a Powerful Leader. I think you've got a wonderful mix of cultures here and inspiration and the wisdom of our indigenous cultures to be able to help us in today's modern world. Thank you for putting the book together.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and it's really, I was really guided by my ancestors to get the word out. The Cherokees believe in harmony and balance, and I think a lot of us are looking at this world right now and say, I think we're out of balance a little bit in harmony. So, this is very simple wisdom, and a lot of the stuff is really not new, but a lot of times we just need reminders. And, this is the message that I've been given by my ancestors, and it's really helping people become better leaders.
Well, I think this is the thing is simple is the best way to go, because in today's world, life has gotten so complicated and so fast-paced and so distracted by so many things that I think that we really do need to take that step back, take a deep breath, and really look at what the basics are all about, right?
Absolutely. But Brenda, I hate to sidetrack, but I am really coming off an exciting weekend, and I really just need to talk about it for a minute. I participated in the Women's March in Los Angeles, and to me, what I have been saying over the last year is that it's really the time of the divine feminine. And as we go into this next paradigm, I really think women are going to be playing such an important role. So I participated in the Women's March in Los Angeles, which was 750,000 people. But if you look at this, 700 marches in 60 countries throughout the world. I mean, that I've never seen that in my lifetime. And I know that some people may have interpreted it, the mainstream media interpreted it as being a protest. It wasn't a protest. And I don't participate in protest because I believe in standing for something, not against something. So what it was for women's rights, for diversity, for inclusion. And can you imagine 700 cities throughout the world, 60 countries, literally millions of women coming together in peace and harmony? And it was just such a powerful, powerful thing to be a part of. And with Cherokee Wisdom, what we believe in is when we as leaders make decisions, we're supposed to take into consideration 7 generations before us and 7 generations in the future. And so participating in the Women's March, you had people of all ages. You had young girls, young kids. And in Los Angeles, me and my friends, we guesstimated it was probably about a fourth men. So you had men, women, all ages, all races. And I just want to say that was so powerful in the sense that I haven't seen anything in my lifetime. And it's really as we go into this shift of the divine feminine, women are really rising. But because I believe in harmony and balance, this is not, by all means, not an anti-man or anti-even Trump. It's just a pro, because I don't want to get into the politics of it because it doesn't do us any good. But, I mean, I can't believe, like a lot of the mainstream media is saying it's anti-Trump, which I don't believe it was, because you had women in Thailand, women in Kenya, women in Spain, Australia, Hungary, the Czech Republic. Those people really don't necessarily care about the leadership of the U.S. What they do care about is women's rights and women coming together. So, Brenda, it was just such a powerful experience to be involved in. I just had to acknowledge that and share that with you.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you did, because it's a pivotal point in time. And this interview was actually scheduled a week ago, and it's a good thing that it was actually delayed, because now we can touch on some of the spiritual aspects, because it's very much like as you were at that rally and you were talking about the Cherokee wisdom of 7 generations before and after, couldn't you just feel the spirit of the ancestors present en masse to support and buoy and be there with you in this? So it was like 7 times the 700, events around the world in terms of spirit and bringing in this divine concept of the divine female and male, because we are there's a sense of the duality, right? We're all one. We really are. And we're one, where 2 or more gathered in thy name, God is. So, I think that this is a spirit of change that we're really looking for. We've been waiting for this to happen, really. Don't you think?
Absolutely, and I absolutely felt the spirit of the ancestors there, and I'll tell you why. So I went with a group of friends, and we were standing in this middle of the intersection, and everywhere you looked around you, you were seeing people. And we looked up, and there was a hawk flying over right above us. Now, I worked in City Hall in downtown Los Angeles. I have never seen a hawk in downtown. You see helicopters, you see drones, you see all these high-rises. And the hawk stayed over the entire time, just floating over and watching us, and we just, me and my girlfriend just said, "Oh my God, what a powerful moment!" The Creator is really, really watching over us, and the fact that you can get that many people gathered and not one problem. There was no violence. There was no, negativity. It was just such a powerful moment. And this, for me, really comes on the heels of in last 6 months, we saw the power of, the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, what they were able to do with prayer and peace. So although the world may look dark to a lot of people right now, it's really not. Again, we're going through this whole paradigm shift where, and you're a Reiki master, about energy. The energy through coming together is really rising.
It's exciting times. It really is, because for every time a person raises their vibrational set point, so, instead of being in fear and pain and misery, we're getting more closer to love. And these kinds of events where there's a unification of everybody there in a peaceful situation, showing en masse that, we're here. We're not backing down, but we're here, and we're going to change the world. And as we change our vibrational set point of one person, it has a ripple effect of 10,000 people. And so, it is really exciting. So many people are down and negative about certain events, and can be, and they will suck you into the vortex. But the unification of hearts and minds uniting like this, it's just absolutely stunning to see what can happen. And
there were women in Antarctica. I saw pictures of women on a boat up there, all coming together. So again, what is the common thread? The common thread is we as women want to be respected. As a divine feminine, we want to be honored. And again, you talked about the duality. There's masculine and feminine, and one's not better than the other. We need both. But we also, as women, need to be respected, and we need for our girls that are coming up now to know that they are on an equal playing field, whatever that looks like for them.
Exactly. Well, in a way, politics aside, we do have to thank Donald Trump, President Trump, for opening the door to allowing this to happen, because without his biases and his actions and words, this might not have happened. It might have been a moment that would have passed and nobody would have cared. But thank you, for doing that. I really, I appreciate that, and I think this creates a conversation starter in many, many homes that never would have happened otherwise, and communities. So, we have to look for the blessings, and I think this actually was one huge one that happened.
Right, and then I think the other thing that people are becoming keenly aware of is technology and social media. I mean, technology has really connected the world, and through social media, people now can really become connected. And that was so true with the Standing Rock, situation, where that was really driven by social media. And again, in my lifetime, I have never seen 300 tribes come together, let alone worldwide.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I was doing a radio interview in Australia, and they were asking me about Standing Rock. So I do believe globally, we are going through this shift of positivity, and we always know that you see the dark before you see the light. But I see the light, and I really feel the vibration is really expanding, like you said.
Oh, it's really amazing to see that, because there has been such a wedge, and I'm here up in Canada, and you probably know about all the residential schools and all the suffering that happened up here, all in the name of God and all in the name of removing the Indigenous people from their families and trying to teach them, how to be Christians and how to be white people. And with our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, he started the apology on behalf of the Canadians towards the Indigenous people. And the healing has started to begin up here. And, there's, a beginning dialogue of healing and hope. And, and I really, I think that, as much as there has been a drive to drive the wedge between the Indigenous people of North America, to see them rally like they did, for a cause with 300 tribes coming back together, and, and all this, it's stronger together than apart. And, and I think we can all live in this beautiful harmony, which, the Creator has so designed. And, and I think that, we are in such a pivotal time. It's just like way back in Egypt when people stood their ground in front of the tanks and just stood there very peacefully. See, if we fight back, then that gives them ammunition to fight. But when we're peaceful, they don't know what to do. They can't raise their arms. They can't, do anything. So the peaceful approach is really having a great impact, and I'm so happy to hear that, we can see this. We have proof positive, and, turning away from the actual media and actually looking at the people assembled and really taking it on face value for what it is, and truly thank God for social media. I think it's, unifying us. I know there's the black internet where there's a lot of bad stuff going on, but, in the day-to-day interconnections, all we want is love. We just want peace, and we want love. And I think it's our time, and I think it's beautiful that we have this time together here today, Cynthia.
Well, Brenda, I honestly believe that in my life, the point I'm at now, the Creator is using me to get out the message of peace and unconditional love. And I'm just so grateful. And I just want to acknowledge you for a minute, Brenda, because you are one of those voices that, mainstream media is not going to report what we're just talking about. And so you're one of those voices that are really a platform for that positive message of peace and unconditional love. So I just want to thank you for that.
Oh, well, thank you for acknowledging that. I accept it willingly and gratefully, and I think this is it. Sisterhood coming together, humanity bonding together, and really getting the positive truth out there. So I just want to, I'm so glad we had that dialogue, and I just want to get back into the topic of the book, and with your beautiful blending of cultures and everything, I wonder if you could tell us for a few minutes about the leaders you admire from your own family history and what that meant to you to discover and uncover that.
So I am seventh generation Cherokee, and really that's what we can document. But before that, the Cherokees really didn't keep records. So the Cherokee Nation originally is from the United States, and they're originally in what we consider today the South. So they took up 8 states: Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, the Carolinas, that whole area. And they lived in peace and harmony for many, many years. The Cherokees are actually a matriarchal society, so everything's traced by your mother's clan. Then what ended up happening is in that area where that was Cherokee territory, they found gold. So once the Europeans came over and colonized, they said, okay, well, we want that gold, so we want you out of the way. So the tribe was forcibly removed and sent to Oklahoma. So the Cherokees went through what was called the Trail of Tears. And the reason it's called the Trail of Tears is because many, many, many thousands of people, the Cherokees, died on that route because it was terrible conditions, it was snowing. And it took them 4 months. They finally ended up in Oklahoma. And in the Cherokee way of life, we never had a concept of individual property ownership. It was the tribe that owned all the land. Now the tribe said, okay, you can build a house on it, you can farm it, you can do whatever you want, but it was a more community type of feel. Once they got to Oklahoma, they said, oh, now you have to have individual land ownership. And they went through a phase what was called allotments, where everybody was given an allotment of land. But again, it was a foreign concept to the Cherokees. It's like, wait a minute, this is not mine, this is the tribe's. So through that whole process in the early 1900s, the allotments, a lot of the Cherokees didn't understand what was going on, and they were swindled out of their land. So we don't necessarily have a reservation, if you will, because reservations are held in land trust. But we do now. We're in Oklahoma, is where the capital of our nation. We have a principal chief. Now, one of my heroes is a woman by the name of Wilma Mankiller. I know Mankiller sounds kind of strong, but that's her name. And she was the first and actually only principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. So she was actually assistant to the principal chief, a gentleman by the name of Ross Swimmer, and he moved on. He got a federal job. So she kind of took over the job. So she wasn't initially elected. And so a lot of people were hesitant because it was the first female. But she did a fabulous job, so she got reelected several times. Unfortunately, she's made her transition. But she was an amazing, amazing, strong woman that really brought the Cherokee values back into our way of thinking. And what I share in Cherokee Wisdom, 12 Lessons for Becoming a Powerful Leader, are basically our cultural values, or what we call 12 attributes of leadership, things that we feel are important for a leader. And one of them is integrity. Have integrity in all you do. And we define integrity by doing the right thing even when no one else is watching. Because many times it's easy to do the right thing if somebody else is watching you. But if it's just you and the Creator and you're put in a situation, always do the right thing, because you have an accountability to the universe. You have accountability to the Creator.
That's so beautiful, and such a great basic value, and so intrinsic to all cultures, all walks of lives, and embodying that one factor alone will change lives, won't it?
Absolutely. And the other thing that's important, we really feel is important in a good leader, is humility. Be humble. Just because you have a job title or a certain responsibility in front of you does not make you better or higher than anyone else. We are all created equal, and so a lot of people think that confidence and humility are mutually exclusive. I believe you can have both. I believe you can have confidence in your skills and abilities and be humble at the same time. And in today's world, a lot of the leaders forget the humility part because they're so ego-driven, and they forget about everybody else.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not going to mention any names.
The time. No, but it is true. You know, you watch so many people when they get into a power position, and they do. Well, the ego is the monkey mind, and the subconscious is more the reality than what the ego has. But yet we do fall in that 3D trap of egocentricity, and So I think it's really important to see that is a vital factor with the wisdom of the Cherokee. I wonder if you could just speak for a little bit on why do you think women can learn to be better leaders?
Well, as I started off the show talking about the divine feminine, I teach, I'm a professor, so I teach at the graduate level. I teach leadership and management. And one of the things we teach is that women and men have different leadership styles. Again, I'm not saying one's better than the other, but women, as a general statement, they tend to lead from what we call social power, where men tend to lead from personal individual power. Now, what does that mean? That means that women usually, when they are in leadership roles, they bring more compassion. They bring the greater good of the community. They're more inclusive, where men, as a general stereotype, tend to be more competitive and more like, I'm the boss and you have to do what I say. And so as we have more women going into leadership roles, it's creating this shift in corporate America. And really who's pushing the shift at this point is the millennials, because now they want the companies or the corporations that they spend their dollars to have a social conscience. We now have terms called social entrepreneurship. So, and the millennials, if they spend their dollars, they want to make sure that corporation is giving back in some way. So as you have an influx of more women coming into leadership roles, it's creating that shift for the future generations. And hopefully, women bring compassion and they bring more unconditional love. And it's to me kind of a pretty recent phenomenon, because women in leadership in the past felt they had to become men. In order to become a strong leader, they felt they had to take on those masculine qualities. And people are realizing, no, I'm a woman, I'm powerful, and I can bring my own qualities. And so, we're really going into this point where there's more and more women. And let's face it, women are already leaders in their families, in their social circles. And many times we could lead by example and don't even know it because other people are watching.
That's powerful, leading by example. So, and you're right, our children are watching. Nowadays there are cameras everywhere. You can get caught doing anything anywhere because everybody has a cell phone camera, or there's some kind of surveillance camera somewhere. So, I think that's the thing, is we have to live as if we're very aware that we are being watched. And when you do that, how would you behave differently than if you thought you were invisible or invincible? And there's a phenomenon too, which I think has to be overcome by women as they emerge, is the broke healer concept. I work with a lot of women who have healing abilities, or mediumship, or psychic abilities, or pulling on the wisdom of the ancients, and they believe that they're not worthy of being paid or compensated for the work that they do in helping humanity. And I wonder, I know we're kind of diverting a little bit here, but I wonder if that's something that also crosses through the Cherokee wisdom as well, is dealing with self-worth in womanhood and entrepreneurship and really rising into that position.
Well, I'm not so sure if it's a Cherokee thing, because like I said, Cherokees, we value the women equally. But I have a lot of friends now that are healers, and I've just had this conversation recently where, a lot of times the healers and women, we're givers. We give, and we have trouble receiving. So I was just having this conversation recently with one of my girlfriends because she was a physical therapist for many years and did massage therapy. Physically, she can't do that anymore, but she has a lot of gifts. She has what we consider psychic and all these things. And I said, well, why don't you become a spiritual advisor? And she had trouble accepting the fact that people would pay her for that. And she's phenomenal, and people love her, and people are paying her. But it was that acceptance of our gifts and our healing ability, because as a society, when you're growing up, those are not necessarily attributes that people value. And a lot of people that I know that are healers grew up feeling a little bit different and not, part of the mainstream. And women in general tend to struggle with their self-confidence. So I think it's really important for all of us to really invest in the next generation of girls coming up and really showing them that, anything is possible with, hard work and education and never giving up.
Very powerful and very affirming. It's not. It's a cross-cultural thing. And one of the things that I know that in your book you talk about mental strength, and I think about Cherokee women and and the Cherokee and what they all had to go through to survive their culture, and through all that you explained about the Trail of Tears and the losses and the hardships and watching their spouses and children die on the trail and surviving and that sort of thing, carrying that through in your culture and to where you are now. How has mental strength helped you in developing your leadership?
Well, in the book, number 3 is be strong. Lesson 3 is be strong. And when I talk about strength, I do talk about mental strength, physical strength, emotional strength, and spiritual strength. And mental strength, it's really going back to believing in yourself and having those positive affirmations, because we get an influx of negativity in our life, people telling us we can't do things. I was the first person in my family to go to college, and people told me you can't do it, you don't know how, you don't have money, all this negative stuff. So I had to tell myself, I can do this, I got this, and having that mental strength to keep going. I was very fortunate. I got my master's degree by the time I was 23. But it took a lot of mental strength. And then when I talk about physical strength, it's basic, eating healthy and exercising. We need to take care of ourselves, our body temple, and making sure that we're giving it the proper healthy fuel and exercise on a regular basis. And then I also talk about emotional strength. And what I mean by that is that everybody has their individual journey. And as we go through this individual journey, we develop emotional baggage. Emotional baggage could look like anger, resentment, guilt, shame, insecurity. So it's really, how do we look at our own individual baggage and release that? And then the fourth aspect is the spirituality. And I have a spiritual practice that I do every day. I do 3 things. I start off with my gratitude list, being grateful to the Creator, and then I pray and meditate. I like to say prayer is talking to the Creator and meditation is listening. So grounding myself in that spiritual, practice really gives me the wherewithal to be strong as I face challenges in life.
I think that's beautiful, and I love that idea of prayer is talking and meditation is listening. I think, people get in a conundrum. Do I pray? Do I meditate? Do I stand on my head? Do I do yoga? Do I, but, and then people have a hard time with meditation because they actually are not used to being silent and still with themselves and facing themselves. And when they're doing that, they're opening up the vortexes of the flow of the Creator to come down to them and bless them with many graces. So So I love what you say that you do. And so prayer is talking and meditation is listening. So I encourage everybody, talk and listen and spend time with the Creator and see what many blessings will come your way. I see that, our time is actually winding down very quickly, and I so appreciate you, Cynthia, for being here with us today. I wonder if you wouldn't mind talking to us about what the reader can really take away when they read your book.
So what I want the reader to take away is basically my values. They can look at their individual values and realize that leadership is not an exact science, because human behavior is not an exact science. So I'm just sharing what works for me as a leader, and I've been in very powerful leadership positions in charge of 5,000 people at one time. So I've learned from all of this, and so I want to share with other people so they can realize and have the confidence to develop their own leadership style and realize they too can be a powerful leader.
That's beautiful. I know that your work is always also having you work with young girls and helping them to develop their leadership skills as well, correct?
Absolutely. That's such an important part of who I am, again, going back to the future and the next generation. So I invest a lot of my time and resources in working with young women from the inner city of Los Angeles, women that grow up in gang-infested neighborhoods and all these challenges, and really to show them that anything is possible, because I'm living proof that anything is possible. Anything they want to work for and set their mind for and never give up, be persistent, they can accomplish their dreams.
Oh, that's beautiful. Bringing heaven to earth, really, and helping the next generation to build on the building blocks that, this wisdom has and is creating. And so I thank you for the work that you do. And, one of the things that is really, really pivotal is letting people know how they can get a hold of your book. Could you please share that information, please?
Sure, Brenda. So I'm easy to find. Go on Amazon.com. Put in my name, Cynthia, Ruiz. I come up. I have 2 books. First one's Finding Sane Relationships in a Crazy World. The second one is Cherokee Wisdom, 12 Lessons for Becoming a Powerful Leader. I'm all over social media. I love for people to join my tribe. You can do that by going to my website, which is my name, CynthiaMRuiz.com.
Oh, wonderful. Very nice and easy. And, I want to thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart for making this time available to be with us here on eFactor Radio, touching lives, inspiring people to know that we can step into our greatness no matter where we are, when we are listening to this podcast. The opportunity exists in the moment of now. And as such, Cynthia, I just want to thank you for being with us and making a difference, one person at a time. And your book is a beautiful representation. We shared just a couple of the leadership tips that are in the book, and I really encourage others to grab hold of this book and really embrace it. And let's make a change happen in 2017 and beyond. Bye for now.